Hi and welcome to Natural Aesthetics. So if I had to choose only one training program to do for the rest of my life as a natural bodybuilder, what would I do? The answer to that is probably a full body training protocol for a number of reasons. Now, I'm not saying any of the other routines are ineffective, far from it. I think that sometimes you're going to need to change your training protocol to maybe break up monotony, to increase training adherence, for enjoyment, to train specifically towards a goal that you may have. But I do think the bulk of your training really wants to be focused on some kind of full body approach. There are many different ways to build muscle, many different ways to become stronger, different routes to take. Truth be told, you can attain a fantastic physique following any program as long as you put the effort in, you are consistent in the gym, and you follow the core basic training principles. I just think that you're going to have a better chance of doing that as a natural bodybuilder by following a full body approach. The main reason for that is frequency. There is no program out there that allows the same level of frequency as a full body training approach. Typically, you're going to start off in the gym 3 times per week, 3 cycles of growth, if you will. With a conventional bodybuilding split, you're only looking at 1 session per week, but you'll be in the gym 5 or 6 times per week. With a 2 muscle per day training split, you're looking at twice a week, push, pull, upper, lower, 2 times per week, maybe 3 times per week. And if you do those programs for 3 times per week templates, you're going to be in the gym 6 times per week, which is twice as much as a full body routine to do the same level of frequency. So by far, the full body approach is the easiest way of attaining the highest frequency possible. You can't really ignore the abundance of research now that suggests the higher frequency approach is going to yield greater returns in muscle mass than a lower frequency approach. So on a volume equated program, i.e. the workload per protocol is the same, the high frequency approach consistently comes out on top now. And bearing in mind these programs, these trials are often run over quite short periods of time, 6 to 12 weeks perhaps. And the results are not always significant, but there is some difference. You imagine doing that over a 2-year period, maybe the results would be even greater in favour of a high frequency approach. And also now we've got a lot of this research that suggests an even higher frequency, beyond 2 to 3 times per week, will yield even greater returns than expected. And that's why I'm following now a 5-day approach, 5-day full body approach. And full body really is the only way for me to attain that kind of level of frequency. And while I wouldn't say, for you to follow the research blindly, I think we have to take into account, at least trial it, trial the findings via our own training and then come to our own conclusions from that, whilst taking into account our own knowledge and our own, training and results and feedback from our body that we've, gathered over the years of training. So, it makes sense from a common sense perspective as well, doesn't it? If someone offered you £50,000 to add 50k to your squat in a month, would you squat once a week, or would you squat, as many times as possible to try and reach that goal? If you've ever trained a high frequency approach with the big compound lifts, you'll notice that the ability to become stronger goes through the roof because you're doing those movements more often. And you have to remember as a natural bodybuilder that strength will eventually lead to an increase in muscle size. It has to. It may not happen straight away, but it will happen eventually. So I'll go into some negatives next session, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to see more. Email naturalasthetic@outlook.com for more info on online training. Stay strong.